Man, we need some shade.
Yeah, you wouldn't think we'd be complaining after that long cold spring, but
Yeah.
we could use some shade out here, that's for sure. How about a dogwood?
Dogwood.
Yeah, how about a dogwood?
You want a dogwood?
Oh, I have always wanted a dogwood.
Okay. I guess we're getting dogwoods. Tinyhouse Prepper. Hey everybody, I'm Bill.
And I'm Elizabeth with Tinyhouse Prepper.
And we got a situation here. If you have watched the videos that we did a year ago or a year and a half ago about the shed, when I rebuilt the shed, you'll know that we had a whole row of trees here.
Blue spruces.
Blue spruce trees. And they all died.
There's an illness going around just killing off blue spruces. It's really awful.
And we had to cut them all down because they were the wind was blowing them over anyway.
Yeah.
So I cut them all down and I buried all the stumps, but now we have this big area here with no trees. And what's happening is in the evening the sun beats down on our sunroom,
yeah, and
it gets too hot in there for us to even sit in there. So after talking about we can't use it in the winter because of the cold,
yeah,
all of a sudden we can't use it in the summer because of the blazing sun.
Right.
So we need a couple of trees that of course are going to take a little while to grow and provide shade, but we hope to get trees that are going to be big enough and close enough to be able to give us shade for the sunroom.
Right. Besides, I am crazy for flowering trees. Moving from the west, where it was still very beautiful, and discovering spring and flowering trees, I just love them. And I love dogwoods. I would dearly love to be able to plant some in the yard. So
we thought for a while about getting some kind of fruit trees because they flower
and produce fruit.
And produce fruit, and they're beautiful, but the place we're going to be putting them is going to be right next to the driveway. If you've ever had fruit trees, you know that even if you harvest the fruit, it makes a mess underneath, and we don't want to be tracking rotten fruit into the house because they're dropping all over the driveway and all that. So
it has to be a better location for
yeah,
that.
so that won't work here next to the driveway. So I guess we're doing dogwoods.
I would love it.
Would you like to go and see if we can find some dogwoods?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
You can see this is our sunroom, and the sun sets right there. And we used to have a whole line of trees here. Now the sun sets in that gap in the trees, and it blazes onto our sunroom. So we are going to plant a tree just beyond the truck there, and another one right here, and hopefully, not now of course because they're only 6 feet tall, hopefully in a year or two, in a couple of years, they'll start to give us some shade. So when is the best time to plant a tree? Is it spring, fall, middle of the winter, middle of the summer? Well, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. And the second best time to plant a tree is today. So that's what we're going to do.
I'm so glad we have that. Okay,
Your chariot awaits, my lady.
thank you, my lord.
I need to get a step to put down here.
We are coming up to the nursery. Cool. Here's where we're hoping to find some things. And we have room in the truck to carry it home. I love that snow. My Aunt Doris used to work in a greenhouse. One of my favorite things in the whole world was to go see her there because the air was just so fragrant and green and full of oxygen. It smelled so good in there. I loved it.
This is all flowers. We got to find trees.
I know. I just looked at the flowers for a moment. Those are birds. I absolutely love dogwoods. I think I have loved them since the dogwoods that were at my grandmother's place. I love the flowers. I think they're beautiful when they bloom. They're indigenous to an awful lot of the Northeast, and I think they're going to do really well. I'm going to go ahead and get 2 of them to put out by the driveway. This one is called a Milky Way dogwood, and it's got real brilliant white flowers, which I think are going to be really pretty. And then I'm really excited. I'll show you the card for this other one. This is called a Cherokee Brave. And I love, it gets very rich pink flowers on it. So we're getting these 2 trees to go on either side of the driveway. And every year I always put some annuals into that big pot that I have in front of the house. But Bill came up with this idea, and I think it's going to be really nice. We're going to do some really beautiful greens in there today, and I cannot believe I can't.
Coleus.
Coleus, I know the name of them.
Well, there's 3 of them, so it's Colei.
Yeah, these are Colei, but yeah, I think that's going to be really pretty. So I am truly excited to get these trees going. I had one at one point out here that I just loved, and the deer that lived closer to us at that point managed to tear down the fence and ate it. So I'm just going to baby these things, and I'm just so looking forward to having them bloom in the spring. The Coleus are pretty too, Colei.
This is the first time using our new truck.
Very functional. And we're also getting some topsoil to kind of mound around them. So.
So, 1 down, 1 to go. That wasn't bad at all. And I just have to water them a lot. This is going to be good. Alright, so I got them done. The one on the other side I planted so that the top of the root ball was just level with the ground, filled it in. This one over here, this entire area is a little bit low. I'm going to have a landscape company come in, put some topsoil in and raise the whole thing 3 or 4 inches, because when it rains this is all like a little bit of a lake, not exactly right here but just a little bit further over. So this one I planted with the root ball about 3 or 4 inches above the ground level, and then I put in some topsoil to mound up around it to what will eventually be the final grade after the landscape company comes in. So I think it's going to work. Now I probably should have put some fertilizer down in on the hole underneath, or this or that. I don't know. I'm sure I'll hear many suggestions of what I should have done. But this is going to work. All I have to do is just make sure I keep water on them until they get established, and this will be fine. So we're excited about having a couple of dogwoods.
One of the other projects I am going to enjoy so much here is taking these beautiful colei and putting them into my planter here. Got some things to pull out from last year. Love to just sit and fuss with plants and plant things in the spring. There we go. So I have everything dug out and this beautiful soil all kind of stirred up. You will notice that I am now in the sunroom. For a couple of weeks in early spring, we get these little tiny, like teeny little black flies. Bill doesn't even hardly notice them because they don't do anything to him, but they think I'm delicious and they bite, and it leaves a really like miserable bite, worse than a mosquito. So they chased me inside, and it's only going to be for a little while, but it'll work out just fine to plant these right here in the sunroom. So I have, it looks like, see, 8, 9, 10, I think like 12 of them. So I'll kind of plan this a little bit as to how I want to plant them. Oh, this first breaking them apart is always a little tricky. Aren't these pretty? I told Bill just to pick out what he wanted, and he just picked some beautiful ones here. This will be something kind of different this year. Well, there we go. Aren't they beautiful? There's variegated leaves and the red and green, and then just like the solid red. I love them. Isn't that going to be pretty? So there we go. I got those planted and can enjoy them this summer.
So we've always enjoyed doing little planting things around in the spring. You know, we do something like that every year. But the way I used to drive all the time, I never had the time, and we still squeezed it in somehow. But it's so nice to have the time to be able to just leisurely go down and pick out what we want. And the trees we've been wanting to plant for a couple of years and I've never gotten it done. So it's just enjoyable. We enjoy the spring. We're sitting out here in our sunroom. And those little bugs that she was talking about, we only actually have those bugs for maybe 2 weeks or so, right when it first starts to get warm, and then they go away, and then we don't have bug issues for the rest of the summer pretty much, not even hardly mosquitoes.
And yeah, I know we don't tend to get very
Yeah.
many mosquitoes, and Bill doesn't even hardly notice those
No.
little. And we haven't always had them, but they're like teeny little black flies, kind of like.
So anyway, for
Ugh.
right now, she's really enjoying the sunroom. You know,
Yes.
it's a screen room too. You open all the windows and the screens all the way around.
Yep.
So we're really enjoying it and watching everything bud, and
Oh, I'm loving that.
the hydrangea, that's hydrangea?
Hydrangea,
That
yeah.
we planted a couple of years ago is starting to bud out and
It's
everything.
budding out,
Yeah,
yep.
so
So and something's been nibbling on it, probably a rabbit. I may have to put something up to protect it, but I'm excited about that little hydrangea growing, getting
Yeah.
bigger. Just have to be patient, but like Bill said, the best time to plant a tree, if it wasn't 20 years ago, is today.
Yeah.
So we're going to just take good care of these and enjoy them in the years to come. So I'm just really glad to have you around to do stuff
Yeah.
like this together.
So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. You can subscribe below if you haven't done that before, and we love your comments.
Yes, we do.
So, you know,
And likes help.
Yep.
You know, that's a YouTube thing.
so
So, all right, you listen.
all right,
Bless you guys.
we'll see you next time.